if you don't have that in hand, what's gonna happen is you probably give over about the vehicle to them, or you have to go take out another loan of $3 million, which is gonna bring you into another 5-year loan. So now you have a car loan for 15 years, for example. It's wild. I have to tell you now, to stop make society force things down your throat and tell you, say, everybody must do this. Okay. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Yay! I just had coffee. 2 types of coffee. The boiled coffee, bam, and I had an espresso shot. Bam! Anyway, today we're gonna be talking about car loans, honey. Car loans. What you need to do before you sign off on a car loan. And listen, if you are looking to go take out a car loan right now, if you're in the process of doing this, stop. Watch my video first, okay? We're gonna start off this video by me explaining that, can't breathe. I was just in here playing Rihanna and dancing. I know I can't breathe. I'm trying to make it look like I can breathe, but I can't breathe. You should breathe my heart right now. It's anyway, so let me tell you guys that car loans are something that people ask about all the time. When I tell you all the time, I mean all the time, honey. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this video today so you can see all the things you need to know about car loans before you start, before you go take it out, okay? Now I'm gonna start this video with a little story. My encounter with car loans, okay? The year was, I forgot the year, but the point is, it was my very first car that I bought. I mean, vanny. Guys, I call all cars cars, okay? I don't know that it's a van, or I mean, I know it's a van, but I don't call them vans. I just call everything cars, okay? So my first car that I bought, this was a few months after I started Sagicor. And just to remind you, my Sagicor salary, I was not used to that kind of money at all. It kind of just came out of left field, you understand? So, you know, I was getting paid way more than I was accustomed to. And a few months went by, so I was like, yo, you know what society says? When you start making money, you need to go buy a brand new car. So I was like, yeah, fam, vibes, roll, we can do this. So I get onto the dealership and I'm like, hey, I would like to buy a car, please. And they ask, what are you looking for? Remember, I know nothing about cars. Okay, you're telling me about liter this, engine this, size, and I don't know. If you ask me right now what size Vanny is and all this, I can tell you she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She has 7 seats. 2 of them they're collapsible, and the rest are there. I don't know nothing else. I don't even know different functions in Vanny up to now. Do you understand? So I go into the dealership and they're like, just tell me what are you interested in? So I'm like, all right, I'm looking for a car. Maybe at the time I was actually looking for a car itself, but I saw the cars that they had. I didn't like the cars that they had. So they're like, you know what? I know just the vehicle for you. And they take me over to Vanny. I saw Vanny and I was like, oh no, I can't afford this. I'm so sorry. Because, I mean, obviously it's going to be a lot of money, right? So I'm like, I can't afford this. So the guy says, well, let's see about that. I'm going to put you in touch with some people and they're going to ask you some stuff. You submit the stuff. They're going to run your numbers and they're going to tell you what you can afford. So I'm like, oh, I felt so taken care of. I'm like, oh my God, you're such a great person. Thank you so much. And he was just doing his job. He was a good guy. So they run my numbers. They ask me for my pay slips. They ask me for all these things. They run my numbers and they're like, you need to take this car. This is the car that you need to take this car. This car's amazing. It's within your budget. This was Vanny. So I'm like, what do you mean it's within my budget? How much is it gonna be monthly? I forget the numbers now, but like they would say it's gonna run you about $180,000 a month. So I'm like, are you mad? To me, how my brain worked, it wasn't a case of whether I can afford to pay $180,000 a month. How my brain worked was me supposed to have $180,000 car payment put up on my head at one time. I like to sleep peacefully. I don't want to, can't sleep because, oh God, I'm never gonna pay for Vanny. No, I was stressing the hell out. I was like, nah, I can't do that. That's crazy. So I tell the people and say, we're gonna have to pass, we're gonna have to forego this, let's do another vehicle. So they're like, no, 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 no. Before you go, I can do you a favor. Hang on, I can do you a favor. So I'm like, all right, what's the favor? So they're like, how much money can you afford, or how much money would you feel comfortable with? And I was like, I can't tell you that, because it wasn't something that I went in thinking, this is the max car payment that I'm gonna do. Because even though I was selling insurance, I wasn't financially, what's the word? Like, you know, financially literate. I wasn't financially literate. I knew about insurance stuff, but my job wasn't to like teach finance and all this. I was just supposed to go sell insurance. So I didn't go in no budget. I was just like working with my emotions, you know? This is what I could sleep with at night, that type of a thing. So I didn't go in with a number in mind. So they come back and they're like, all right, would this number look good for you? And I'm like, well, I'll be able to sleep with that. If, you know, I'll be able to sleep with that. So they're like, all right, I'm gonna do you a favor. You look like you're gonna be such a great customer, I'm gonna do you a favor, okay? So we're gonna give it to you for this number per month. And I'm like, all right, you'd really do that? You'd really do that? I'm like 23 years old, by the way. So I'm like, oh my God, or something like that. So I'm like, oh my God, you would really do that for me? Wow, thank you so much. They're like, yeah, just sign here, sign here, sign there, sign here, and you're done. You can come back and pick up Vanny in like a week. We just need to put a tint on. So I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I'm like, you guys are amazing. This is great. This is some about some insurance thing too and some other things, but those were not any big deals. I was like, oh my God, yeah, this is amazing. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Guys, then I started my journey on financial literacy, okay? I started learning about interest rates and types of interest rates and things like that. So something says to me, seeing as I'm gonna be working on my financial journey, I need to go sit down and read my car loan. I sit down and read my car loan and I learned quite a bit, and that is what we're gonna talk. I'm gonna break them down into different points for you today in this video. I did a post on Instagram, and to be honest, I don't remember what I posted, because usually, wake up, I'm gonna choose violence today, type post, type post. That's what I've been up to lately, guys. I don't remember anything I post. So anyway, let me go click on the thing with the points. Got it. The first point is this. Guys, you need to, before you sign off on a car loan, you need to ask them what kind of interest rate. What kind of interest rate is on this car loan? Is it a fixed interest rate or is it a variable interest rate? Two different types of interest rates. Now let me explain the difference to you in practical terms. So there's a thing called BOJ. There is an entity called BOJ, Bank of Jamaica. And if you're in the US, the Bank of Jamaica equivalent, the body that is responsible for banks, okay? So usually what happens is BOJ, and I'm sure you've seen it, whether you've paid it attention is a different thing, but you've seen it. BOJ will come out and say, hey, so we're increasing interest rates by X amount of da-da-da. And you're like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is, so you kind of ignore it. But what's happening in real life is that all the banks in Jamaica, they report to BOJ. And the thing about it is that banks are businesses. So if BOJ is increasing their rates, the banks are gonna pass on, more than likely gonna pass on those rates to you. So if your interest rate was 6% and you had a variable interest rate, variable means that it can change. It can change. It is up to the bank whether they wanna change it or not, right? So if they decide they're gonna change it, what's gonna happen is BOJ increases their rates. The bank here is like, I'm not gonna absorb this, so let me pass this along to the customers. So your interest rate, which was 6%, is now 7%. And you're like, well, that sounds bad, but I still don't understand the impact of this. Fret not, let me tell you. It means if you were paying $28,000 per month for your car loan, you're probably gonna pay like $30,000 or $32,000. It's gonna be more money that you have to pay every single month. Do you understand why it is something that you have to pay attention to? Yes, you have to pay attention to it. You know why? Aside from everything that I just said, if you are working with a budget, if they increase interest rates, and if it has a potential to just yank you out of your budget. So it's something that you have to be aware of. Fixed interest rates do not move throughout the life of the loan. They do not move throughout the loan term. Now, am I saying this to say that if the loan is not a fixed interest rate, you should walk away? I am not saying that. What I'm saying is, because to be fair, very few banks in Jamaica offer fixed interest rates. They do, but very few of them offer fixed interest rates. So if you come across a variable, I'm not saying to walk away. I'm saying to make sure that if, for example, it goes up by 1 to 2 percentage points, that it would still be within a workable budget for you. Because guys, guess what? If it's not gonna be within a workable budget, try to negotiate the interest rate down. Did you know you can negotiate the interest rate down? A lot of people don't know that you can negotiate your interest rates. Usually for smaller banks and like smaller banks, you usually can negotiate your rates a little bit more than the other, like the bigger banks. But try to negotiate your rates, especially if another bank is giving you a lower rate. You can use that to go to the next bank and be like, hey, I'm not saying it has to work, but you can use it as a method of negotiation. So that's one. I'm not saying to walk away immediately. I am saying you need to assess, if this were to go up, would it still be in my budget? If it's not gonna be in your budget, then you have two options. Either you're gonna try to negotiate the rate down, or you're gonna have to walk away from that bank, or you're gonna have to walk away from that vehicle, or you're gonna increase your income. So these are the options available to you. So as it relates to my story, but the interest rate that I got was ridiculous. I signed off on a ridiculous interest rate because I did not know nothing about interest rates and all this. Not only was it variable, but it was also outside of what another bank would usually give for car loans. So please guys, read your car loan contracts and look for these two things. What type of interest rate is it and how much is the rate? The next point has to do with what I mentioned, another point that I mentioned in my story, balloon payments. Let me tell you how balloon payments work. You know how in my story I said that they came to me with $180,000 a month, for example, and I said, wow, I cannot afford that, so I'm gonna have to walk away from Vanny. Well, what happened was they said, all right, no, we'll do you a favor. If you can pay this amount of money per month, then you can still get Vanny, and it's something that you could afford, right? So here's the thing about it. It wasn't no favor that's being done. It's a balloon payment that was being applied. Here's what a balloon payment is. As the name suggests, it is a big, it's a big payment. It's a lump sum payment that is due at the end of your loan term. So you may be paying $80,000 per month, every month, for 119 months. And then on your final month, which is the 120th month, what would happen is that you have to pay that $80,000 still, yes, but in addition to that, instead of you're like, oh, this is my last payment, yeah, great, celebrate, give me my title. It's not like that. You have to pay the $80,000 as you usually do, which would be your quote-unquote last payment. But you also have to pay an extra $2 million or extra $3 million at that same time. That big payment is called a balloon payment, and that is how they were able to give you a lower monthly rate, a lower monthly payment. Because instead of calculating the loan on instead of calculating the loan on $10 million, they calculated it at $7 million. So naturally, your loan payment would be lower, but it still leaves $3 million outstanding, which is what you would pay in lump sum at the end of the loan term. That is a balloon payment. Now, guys, do I need to tell you why it's important for you to look out for these balloon payments? Because it sounds crazy already, right? But in case you still need me to tell you to look out for it, look out for a balloon payment. Because here's the thing, when the end of the term comes, if you don't have that $3 million or however much you need to pay for your balloon payment, if you don't have that in hand, what's going to happen is you probably give over about the vehicle to them, or you have to go take out another loan of $3 million, which is going to bring you into another 5-year loan. So now you have a car loan for 15 years, for example, or however many years. It's wild. You end up with 2 different car loans. You just finished one, and now you're gonna start a second one because you have to pay the balloon payment off, right? So you have to bear in mind this thing. If you end up with a balloon payment and you're like, yeah, you know what, I'll stick with it, it's all right. You just need to make sure you're preparing yourself for this lump sum payment so that you have it handy and ready to go when it's time to be paid, right? Okay. Intermission time. Guys, guess what? My first video is up on my new channel. The thumbnail is where you see. That's what it's about. And it's now ready for you to go watch. This is just a very unwinding video. It has nothing to do with finance. It's just like a chit chat. Yay! My channel's name is Anatized, and the link is in my bio, my description, I should say. The third point, I keep losing the thing. The third point is, let me pause here to say something to you. I personally don't have a problem with luxury vehicles, right? Would I buy a luxury vehicle? I don't see myself buying a luxury vehicle. Like this Anna and the this Anna and the Anna that I've been for Anna, I can't see myself buying a luxury vehicle, right? And it's just because, guys, do you see how attached I am to Vanny? And I barely drive Vanny. What am I gonna do? You want me to sell Vanny to go buy a luxury vehicle? You're mad. I'm not selling Vanny nowhere. So then when I go buy this luxury vehicle, it's just gonna be parked there while I drive Vanny. Well, to me, it doesn't make any sort of sense in my life. But let's say you do want a luxury vehicle. Guys, I don't want anybody to tell you that you should not want anything that you consider luxury. This life is meant to be lived. I don't want you to be limiting yourself or limiting your dreams just because society tells you what you're supposed to want for yourself. You are the person who knows what you want for yourself and the life you want for yourself. Where I will draw the line is if you purchase a luxury vehicle and you cannot afford it, or you are not in a place where you can continue to build your financial portfolio while paying for this luxury vehicle. That is where I draw the line, okay? So a few months ago, Jeffrey went viral because he bought a GLE and the whole world was in shambles because Jeffrey bought a GLE. Up to now, I don't understand why the world was in shambles because Jeffrey bought a GLE. I feel like there's something that I'm forgetting, something else that I'm forgetting, but my memory shit. But anyway, what I remember is the world was in shambles because Jeffrey bought a GLE. When you don't know his financial situation, right? My thing is, once you can comfortably afford it, that's for me. Remember who I told in my car loan story? That's a very real thing. Not because I was making millions of dollars, it means that I'm gonna go take up $180,000 a month in car payment, especially when I'm 100% based on commission. Like, that's not a game that I'm gonna go play. Do you understand? And that's just how I am. I have to be able to comfortably, not afford it 2 times over, 3 times over. I mean, comfortably afford it. Like, I can just pay for it and not even think about it. That's the kind of mindset that I have. So if you are in that financial situation, you're gonna buy 2 GLEs, go knock yourself out. Just make sure your portfolio can still grow. Make sure that you're not working till you have to work 45 years and you have 2 GLE. I don't get the point of that, but knock yourself out. That's the first point on the luxury vehicles. Let's tie it back to car loans. Now, don't sign off on a car loan for a luxury vehicle until you go do research on as it relates to the cost of the tires, the cost of maintenance, because most luxury vehicles come with a service package if you're buying it from the dealer, but the service package expires after a while and you're gonna have to pay to service it. So look to see what it costs to get it serviced, look to see what parts cost and all this, because if you can't afford to buy 4 tires for the vehicle and service it, that also adds to the burden, the financial burden that you'll be carrying, because you also have this car loan that you have to pay. So before signing off on a car loan for a luxury vehicle, please add to the monthly payment the cost to maintain this vehicle. And if it's outside of your budget, then you shouldn't be signing off on a car loan for a luxury vehicle, right? The final point that I have, I forget my points. Oh, the last point is a very easy point, and I feel like you know this, but I did not know this, so I'm telling you guys. Guys, when it comes to motor vehicle insurance, first of all, for you to take out a car loan, you have to have motor vehicle insurance, right? I don't know what it is like right now because I haven't bought a car. I haven't taken out a loan in like long time, so I don't know what it's like right now, but usually they require that you insure the vehicle before they pay over the money and all this, right? So what I did was I just ran with the insurance company that I knew my family used and that I was familiar with. I didn't do much research into different types of insurance and all this. And guys, when I started my financial literacy journey, that's when I realized that there is actually a big difference in the prices between these insurance houses. It was crazy to me. You should stop and research these insurance houses. Don't feel like you're pressured. You're so pressured because you have to sign off on this car loan. Don't allow the pressure to just make you run into a motor vehicle insurance contract with just anybody when you could have saved so much money, okay? So research the different motor vehicle insurance companies and you make sure you take the best package. If you're a scaredy cat like me, you're looking at comprehensive insurance because it covers out next to everything. So you're looking at that. But these are some things that I wish I knew before I signed off on my car loan. Because guys, when I tell you, I teach this to my clients in the Money Society. is it for you to start seeing great progress in your financial portfolio? You have to understand and appreciate the value of every single dollar that comes into your portfolio. You have to appreciate the fact that every dollar has the potential to earn another dollar for you. It depends on what you do with that dollar. Some people understand that every dollar has the potential to earn another dollar, so I'm going to put it to work. While some people, they know that it can make more money, but they're like, let me go buy KFC or something. It's an opportunity that is usually missed. So when it comes to your car loans and interest rates, guys, if you look at the difference between an 8% interest rate versus a 12% interest rate, and you see how much actual real money that's costing you per month, you understand why it's important for you to take some time and try to negotiate or shop around, okay? When you look at the cost of motor vehicle insurance at this company versus the cost of motor vehicle insurance at that company, you look at the difference, how much money it will be costing you every single year or however often you pay it, you understand that it is worth the effort for you to go shop around and look at different rates, right? The next thing is, when you also look at the overall cost of what this vehicle is going to cost you, you see that this is what the bank is telling you need to pay. But you have to remember, I keep telling you guys, the bank don't care. But like, if you're going to build your portfolio after you take out this loan, they don't care if you're going to be able to, you know, like save for an emergency fund or take a trip. They don't care. They just want to know that you can pay this car loan, and they don't even give you the opportunity to do it on your own. They take that money out of your account. They take that money from your check, your paycheck, before you even get it. So not because you're approved for it, it means you should do it. You need to take the time to assess your finances. You need to take the time to figure out if this is the best fit for you. The last thing I will go into before closing out this video is a question I get all the time. Are car loans bad? Should I avoid car loans? Guys, I'm the queen of practicality here. I'm the queen of practicality. Queen. So the question of whether you should not take out car loans, it comes back to a practical choice. Some people have no business taking out car loans, whereas other people, it's just practical for you to take a car loan. If you cannot afford to buy a car cash, also, that's a whole other video as to how much you should be spending on a car cash. I'll do another video on that, but that's not the point of this video here. Guys, if you look at the cost of transportation right now for you, if you're taking public transportation and you add it up, you realize that this is basically a monthly payment. You're like, it may make better sense for you to go take a car loan, because even though you're going to be paying more in gas, you're going to be paying more in toll. That extra money that you're paying may help your side hustle, for example. If you're a makeup artist, you can take on more clients here and there and da-da-da. It'll be more efficient for you. You can make more money off of it. So it completely depends on your current life and your current circumstances. I have to tell you now to stop make society force things down on the throat and tell us, say, everybody must do this, everybody must not do this. You have to look at your circumstances, you assess for yourself, you make sure you read, especially when it comes to contracts, read, and you figure out what is best for you. If you have a remote job, you're a homebody, you don't go nowhere, you don't have no side hustle that requires you driving out, why are you taking on $100,000 car loan a month? The car sit down in the driveway. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't really spell sense for me. But just because society says that you're a manager here and you need to be driving a car, like, guys, in some parts of the world, having a car is not even normal. Like in New York City, most people take the train. I understand that in Jamaica, we don't have that kind of public transportation system set up, and I get it. But to some extent, if you're a girl like what I just described, you work remote, your side hustle is remote, you're a homebody, maybe you don't need $100,000 per month car loan just yet, you know? Just think for yourself before you run up in a things, all right? Guys, before I close out, please hit the notification bell. I'm assuming that you've already subscribed, because you're not watching my videos and not subscribing to me. We have a thing here. Focus, we have a thing here. You already subscribed to me, right? And if you're not, I'm just gonna pretend you are, and you just rectify that while I pretend that you're subscribed. Badness to the thing, or whatever the bad man people say. And then press the bell so you are notified when I drop a video, because as you notice, I've been dropping them very haphazardly. I'm trying to just record and throw them up so you can get them as my thoughts pop up. As the thoughts come up, throw them up, you know? All right, that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Like, Oh, and the comment for today is, so that I know that you watched all the video, the comment for today is, I have to choose, scrap that. Oh my God. The comment for today is, I have to make financial decisions that suit me. Pow. So that I know you watched all the video, comment in the comment section, I have to make financial decisions that suit me. Pow. I'm probably recording another video. I have so much energy right now. This is crazy. Okay, bye guys.